Let's discuss the next chapter of Universus. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it neutral? Let's get together and have a talk about it. I know there's a lot of really hot take. There's a lot of people that are reacting with their raw emotions and are letting it known. There's a lot of negative feedback. There's some positive feedback. But I want to talk today about each change that was made because I think a lot of these changes got announced all at the same time. And so people are only focusing on one or two changes when they're giving their feedback. So feedback's been kind of all over the place. I think the rollout has been a little scattered. So I want to gather all the changes in one place and very quickly go over the basics and then go over whether they're good, bad, or neutral. And I think you'll be surprised to find that my opinion is that 90% of these changes are good. Not only good, they're amazing. So let's jump in. That might be a hot take, but stay with me, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, how would I describe most MHA gamers, especially those on Facebook? I would describe them like this. You know, they don't like how things are, and they don't like change. And no matter what you say, they're all going to end up grumpy. And okay, I probably maybe offended quite a bit of people just by saying that. And I meant no offense. It's just as a joke. But I sometimes this is how it feels. I'm saying for me as someone who joined last year, right before set 3 of MHA, I joined. I've been having a blast with the card game. In my experience, sometimes this is how the community can feel when a change is announced. Everybody kind of gets grumpy. Now that said, there have been a lot of positive changes that people have given positive feedback on, but this is kind of in general how I feel changes get reacted to by the community. And I think we should probably take it a little more easy. Like I said at the beginning, I think a lot of these changes were really good. So let's jump in. Sometimes it just takes, sometimes change, you first notice all the negatives, and then once you sit on it for a little bit, you're like, oh, I actually kind of like this. And that's how I was today. At first, it was like, holy cow, what is going on? And then now that it's been about 12 hours since it was announced, I'm really starting to come around to these. So let's start with the card backs. Here's the current art design. And I'm going to be honest, when I joined in My Hero and my brother and I purchased some boxes and the starter decks, I was very confused when I saw the back of the card because I didn't know what Universus was. I thought I had bought the My Hero card game. Also, I thought they were ugly, to be honest. I know they're busy, and today it's kind of, and they look kind of retro, and today those things are kind of cool, they're kind of coming back in style. And then we have the old UFS logo, which I was never a part of, but it's the same thing with Universus. It's also pretty busy. Whereas this card in the middle brings both together. It gets rid of the border. It's full art, and I really like how they took both of the designs of the card backs because they're showing that we are not letting go of the history. A big part of the new website and the new branding is that we are accepting our history. We are not just My Hero only. And I really like how they did that here. I think the design is really cool. I think it's sleek. I think it's minimalist, and I am all here for it. So I give this a huge thumbs up, me personally. All right, let's talk about the updated card layout. I know this is the thing that everybody is mainly focusing on, and as they should. Fundamentally, this is a card game, and we're here for gameplay mechanics. Okay, so here's 3 of the cards that were revealed. Now, I should say that the Hawks and Hawk's Feather are definitely finalized versions. These are final product images. I'm 99% sure. Whereas this Hawks Pro Hero came from the design article. And so all of the cards, the new looking cards in the design article are not finalized images. And the reason I'm saying that is because you can see there's a difference here on this 2 compared to the 6, how this kind of has that design in there and it kind of pops. Whereas this is much more flat, much more dull. Same thing with the block zone. You get this kind of flat dull, whereas this is popping and has some background. This is using the old good symbol, whereas Hawks is using the new good symbol. So that leads me to believe that these 2 cards are the only 2 cards that we have seen that are completely formatted correctly according to the new design. And that gives me a lot of hope because I did not like this one. And so I see a lot of people being upset at the design of the cards, and they're pointing out cards that were in the design article, but those were prototypes. Those were not finalized products. And I think that was a little confusing in how UVS Games rolled this change out. I think a lot of people just saw the new cards and assumed that was it. So like that tape lash that we saw, this one even here, even though it's a new card, it doesn't mean it's the finalized version of the card. I mean, we know it's not the final version of the card. It's the old grid symbol instead of the star. Okay, enough about that. Let's look at the finalized versions and talk about what we like, what we don't like. First of all, the character Hawks looks sick, in my opinion. This is a character I want, and I want an XR version of this character. We've put, okay, characters are getting keywords. That's pretty cool. Pro, hero, and villain. We got the symbols down at the bottom. I know a lot of people don't like how small they are. I think it's fine. It's not the best, but it does allow you to go all the way left to right with a little more art. I understand that they're looking more for better art than but they're trying not to sacrifice the gameplay at the expense of art, but some sacrifices had to be made, and I think this one's fine. 6 hand size, 27 health. We get the text box here. This all looks good. It's a little, the colors here don't really pop off, but it's good enough. And then you have the title here at the left and horizontal. I really, really like this character card design. I can't say that enough. Okay, let's look at the attack. Over here, I'm not quite as big a fan of. I'm personally not a fan of taking the speed and damage down below. I like keeping the main thing, and ultimately in Universus, the main thing is speed, damage, and blocking, right? So let's keep that the main thing and keep it in the middle. I'm not a huge fan of putting it down here. It's not the end of the world. It's still going to be usable with dice to adjust, and it's still plenty readable. So it is what it is. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not very against it. Also, the symbols, I like, they kind of pop off the black border, so they're certainly easier to read than when they're on the character card like this. Keywords down here, I think it looks better. Like, this card as a whole looks fine, but game mechanics wise, it's definitely going to be harder to use, right? The main things got smaller. Keywords came down here instead of at the front and center. We have the symbols down here. So game wise, yeah, the new cards suffer a little bit, but I think art wise and looks wise, this looks really good. And it looks much better than this. I have to say, oops. Well, now you know my opinions. I have to say on this card, I hate this one. And I think this was just a prototype. I am hoping that this was not a finalized version. I hate how flat the difficulty and the control are, whereas on these finalized versions, they really pop. I hate this response, how they're keeping room here for the speed and damage, but on foundations, there's no speed and damage. So we can use that room. I feel like there's empty space not being put to use. And then on this response, commit after an attack is blocked, your rival's next check to play and card gets -1, then goes period. Then it starts a new paragraph. If you have a copy of Feather in your card pool, draw 1 card. This needs to be up here in the same paragraph. It's really bothering me that they put the new sentence on a new line. And I'm really hoping that is not indicative of how that card is going to look when it actually goes to print. So this gives me hope that it was in the design article, and these 2 cards that we know are finalized versions, I think are pretty cool. So all in all, my official grade is that I'm pretty neutral on these. I like the art. I like the look. My first impression says, wow, that's really cool. But then game mechanics wise, functionality wise, I'm a little disappointed at the functionality. And this card, I just really, really dislike this card. But again, I think it was just a prototype. All right, other layout changes. We got layouts going to adjust with card rarity. If you're a rare, you get a semi-transparent ability box. Ultra rare, you get fully transparent plus a foil card border. XR, the card border is removed and it's full art. All the XRs being full art is amazing. There is nothing worse than opening a box and your XRs were the XRs where there's no full art. You know, like the frog kick XR, for example, where it's just a little shiny and there's nothing dramatically different about the art. And XR should feel amazing when you open it up. And that's what this is doing by making it full art. So I am all on board with this. I'm all on board with URs having that really cool foil card border. Cards with up to 6 symbols coming. Again, they said that was a part of the reason they made them smaller and put them at the bottom, is now you can have 6 symbols. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. That could be way too powerful, or it could just be nice to get staples across more symbols. You know, it's kind of a bummer when you have like 0 difficulty foundations like Release being such a staple in the game, but then it's only on those 3 symbols. So getting a good staple card on 6 symbols is really nice. So I am in favor of both of those. Let's talk about the new website, ufsgames.com. I'm not going to go and look through all of it, but you can see just from this homepage that it is so much better. Like, this, to me, is the biggest improvement of today. This website is leaps and bounds better than the My Heroes website. The My Hero website was hot dog water, to be honest. So this new website looks sleek. It looks clean. The information is easy to find. I am all on board. Okay, let's talk about the Challenger series that were announced. We announced 2 new IPs into the game beyond My Hero Academy. We have Cowboy Bebop and Trigun Stampede. I have watched neither of these animes. I'm thinking I'm going to start watching Trigun now, and I might go back and watch some Cowboy Bebop. You know, the Netflix version. No, just kidding. I'll go back and watch some of the anime. I guess this was back when smoking was deemed cool in culture. Okay, so I like these changes. I think these are 2 pretty cool IPs to be coming in. Remember, these Challenger series are kind of on the side. They're not going to be getting full sets by themselves. I am completely down for these to be added in to the side. Let's get into the specifics. It's going to have 2 interchangeable characters. This is really cool. So you can have the same deck and then play it in 2 completely different ways. We know how much a character matters in this game, and now you can play it in 2 completely different ways and get 2 different experiences out of it instead of just playing the same character over and over again. You get 60 card pre-constructed decks. Now I know this is going to be, Challenger decks are going to be separate from my Hero and the main sets. So I don't take this as we're moving from 50 to 60 as our base deck size, but that's pretty interesting. I mean, these are going to feel thick, you know, because you're not only getting those, you're getting 1 collector booster of 6 Challenger alt arts. These are going to be alt arts of Challenger series cards, and they might be that Challenger series alt arts, or it might be alt arts of Challenger series in the past. I think this is really, really cool. You're going to feel like you are opening a premium product here. And it's designed for beginners separate from Clash decks. The article that was released actually said that the Challengers decks were designed for veterans. But I confirmed with Linoco on Discord that it's the other way around. The Challenger decks are for the beginners. They're separate from Clash decks. And then the Clash decks are more for the veterans, and they're going to still be included in the main sets and legal for main sets and things of that nature. So this is not replacing Clash decks. It's just something out to the side, a little more standalone for beginners. You know, somebody who just wants to, maybe they just want to buy it because they like this IP, you know, they're a Trigun Stampede fan, and then it gives them a chance to kind of learn the game with some basic cards and open some really cool alt arts that hopefully then convert them to being main players. And then it's going to feature worlds separate from main sets. So it sounds like we might be continuing with My Hero for a while. I was always under the assumption that Jetburn would be the last My Hero set. To me, it sounds like My Hero might be going on for several more months, maybe even another year or so. And these Challenger decks will just be to the side. That's just speculation on my part, but I think it's pretty cool. Either way, it sounds like Challenger decks are going to always be separate from main sets and, you know, tournament legality and things like that. Might be wrong. All right, I like all of these changes. I think these Challenger decks are super, super cool. All right, let's look into the spoilers. You know, I showed you some Hawks cards before, but we were just looking at the layout. Now let's actually jump in and let's analyze how good we think these cards are. So Hawks, at the start of your combat phase, add up to 2 copies of Hawk's Feather from your discard pile to your hand. So at the beginning of the game, Hawks is a 6-hander, but as the game goes on, he progressively becomes a 7-hander and an 8-hander. And then when he cycles, he'll drop back down to a 6-hander. I think this is really, really cool design. Being an 8-hander on turn 3 or 4 is, of course, very, very strong. He gets enhanced once per turn. Change this attack zone to high. You may switch its speed and damage. How cool is that? I think we all know from playing Tiger that that is a very strong ability to switch speed and damage. You just get spooky on face. Not only that, but you can have uneven block zones and focus more on the high attack block zone and change them up there, especially when we have Mirios changing around, making everything low. He gets to say, yeah, I'll keep my low blocks in hand, but I'll also keep a high block and get one free block. I think this is a very, very powerful enhance. Response, once per enhanced step, after an attack speed is modified, it gets +1 or -1 speed. This is pretty good. Pretty good than it seems on face. On face, it seems like, oh, that's nice. But -1 speed for free to everything, basically, and +1 speed for free, we like that. We like free stats. So I think this character is 9 out of 10. My first impression is that this character will be very, very competitive and hopefully A or higher tier in the meta. And I think he deserves it because he's one of the biggest fan favorite characters. Let's look at Hawk's Feather. It's a 1 difficulty attack, 1 mid for 1. But if you're Hawks, it gets +2 damage, so it's a 1 mid for 3. Now, when I think of attacks and whether they're good or not, I take all of their stats and I divide it by the difficulty. In this case, we're getting 4 stats. Right, 1 mid for 3, 1 + 3, 4, and then divide by 1, you're getting 4 stats per difficulty. I think a card is really good when you're getting 3 stats per difficulty. If you have a 4 diff that you can get to be like 4 high for 8, like that's really, really strong. And so a 1 mid for 3 might sound like nothing, but I think this is very, very strong just on the fact that it's a 1 diff. You can play it basically for free at the end of your attack string. And guess what? It doesn't have to stay a 1 mid for 3. You can just keep slamming stats on it. You can put stats on with your character, get it to be a 2/3, use your foundation base. You can get it to be very, very strong, and it's a free string ender. You're not playing on progressive. And in this game, we love characters that don't play on progressive. Hooray. All right, if this card is removed by rival effect, add it to the bottom of your deck instead. Very cool. That's like, one of the downsides of Eraserhead is that someone can remove the erases. In this case, it can't be removed, but it does go to the bottom, so it won't be in your discard pile for a while. And then you'll have to cycle, and then you probably won't see it again. And then, okay, well, that's worse than I thought. Okay, that's pretty bad. All right, enhance hand. So you just play it for free from your hand, add this card to your card pool. This attack gets +2 or -3 speed. So really, it's like -2 speed because you're adding a card to your card pool. But that's still very, very strong. +2 speed, sometimes that is all you need on a string ender. And remember, in Hawks, this is going to be +3 or -4 speed because we're going to be adding our response. So based on this being a 1 diff attack alone, I think this is an 8 out of 10, very, very strong. And of course, that only makes Hawks even better that he gets to add 2 of these to his hand for free every turn. Let's talk about the Pro Hero. We get 2 diff, 3 mid block, 5 difficulty. Response commit. After an attack is blocked, your rival's next check to play a card gets -1. If you have a copy of Feather in your card pool, draw 1 card. Okay, commit to draw a card is always good. Just right there. That is 5 out of 10, always good. After an attack is blocked, your rival's next check to play a card gets -1. This is all right on offense. It's like +1 speed on offense. So it's nothing crazy. But on defense, this is a repeatable breaker 1. And I like that. We like repeatable breaker 1. And you get to draw. So I like that. Deadlock enhance your turn flip. Your rival commits 1 foundation for each card in your card pool. So at the end, you can have them stun 5, stun 4. That's insane. That's really, really, really good deadlock. I see this finding play. I don't think it's like game breaking by any stretch. The top response is fine. The deadlock enhance is amazing. And it's got a 3 mid block modifier. That's not great, certainly, but it's strong in and of itself to make up for it. I see it finding play in Hawks decks, especially. Let's look at Dangerous Hybrid, a Nomu card. I assume we're getting a Nomu too. It's a 5 diff, 5 check. When attempting to play this card as a form, it gets -3 difficulty. So it's a 5 diff foundation, the first 5 diff foundation we ever got. we have ever received. Sorry, I had incorrect grammar. But it's a 2 diff when you play it. So we really need to think of this foundation as a 2 difficulty foundation. And that's interesting that it has that. It makes me think that Nomu is getting some benefit from playing high difficulty foundations. You know, Nomu 1 got benefit from playing high difficulty attacks. So Nomu 2 is going to also get this benefit somehow of high difficulty foundations. Enhanced discard and momentum. This attack is +2 speed or -2 damage. Playable while committed. That's nice. That's not a crazy enhance, but it's fine. Yeah, deadlock enhance flip. This attack is +5 speed or +5 damage. That's about on par with most other deadlock enhances. It's not crazy, but it is good. And, you know, most deadlock enhances are good. There's a reason they're deadlock only. So all in all, I can't really grade this card. You know, I want to say like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, but it really depends on how this card jives with Nomu 2. We'll just have to hold out until we get that card previewed. Okay, let's look at the Gen Con promos. We got 6 different Gen Con promos. Now we know why they didn't show us the card format. It's because they weren't ready to announce the new format. We got Midoriya 1 and Bakugo 1. What's interesting is there's no version. There's no character version on the card. Like, it does not say Bakugo 1 anywhere. And it does not say Deku 1 anywhere. But I talked with Linoko, and these are still going to be legal to play with. Just thought that was interesting to point out. I think these look nice. If you like these characters, you're definitely going to want to buy one. Zero Gravity Capture and Class A1 President are terrible cards. I shouldn't say terrible cards. Most of the time, you're not going to be using. They're not staple cards. There's no cards in this game that are terrible, but they're certainly not staples. Cool Student is, it's very, very usable. It's not quite a staple. You know, in the end, I find myself cutting this card quite a bit, but I really, really like it, and it's got Todoroki art on it, so you can bet I'm going to have to buy a playset of this. And then, of course, we have the best of the bunch, Snack Time. Everybody's going to be wanting a playset of this card. It is one of the most broken 1-diff foundations in the game. You have to have it. And instead of having, I can't even remember, Sato? I think it's Sato on the card. Instead of having boring Sato, you're getting super cool Kirishima. I am all in for it. So these I give a balance. Like Snack Time I'm all in for. Cool Student I want. The other 4 I could honestly do without. But I'm definitely going to be buying Cool Student and Snack Time. I was going to be going to Gen Con, but unfortunately this ACL meniscus surgery is why I'm recording in bed currently, and I had to cancel my trip. So I'm kind of happy that these aren't all staples and incredible cards, because then I would have been even more sad I couldn't make that trip. All right, the Playmats, though, are very, very cool. I want one of these very badly. The only thing I don't like is this little thing in the corner, but, you know, that's fine. You got your 4 different colors, so you can get your favorite color. And looks great. I would guess that the pink playmat is going to run, they're going to run out of the pink playmat very, very quickly, would be my guess. And then everybody who goes to Gen Con gets a Trigun Stampede playmat and a Cowboy Bebop playmat. And these playmats are awesome. I am all in on these, and I am actually quite sad that I am missing out on these. All right, let's talk about the new Jetburn details. They did give us some details of Jetburn. We have changes coming in this new set. Alternate art characters in every 18 packs. This is crazy. This is incredible. Alternate arts have always just been reserved for promo cards. Now we're getting them in every 18 packs, and not only are they Jetburn characters, they're characters from prior sets. This could be anybody. This is going to be the ultimate feel-good. You know, right now when I open a box, I'm only looking for ultra rares, and then, you know, I want some cool XRs, and then I really am hoping for a Chrome, but I also know that I'll probably never open a Chrome in my lifetime. And so this being every 18 packs is incredible. It's going to make opening boxes feel amazing. The secret rare, getting it to every box, was already a good change. This is just going to make boxes feel incredible to open, and it's really going to help the value of boxes. It's going to help the collection value of boxes go up. Right now, if you buy boxes, you understand that you're supporting your local game store. You're having fun opening packs, but you are losing money. It just is what it is. And in card games, you'll probably always lose money buying product. But with these alternate art characters in every 18 packs, I definitely think we're going to see collection values go up and box values go up. And then we're also getting, in pre-release kits, a bonus XR character or an alternate art card. Instead of the promo, the mechanically unique promo, once again, UVS Games has decided, I almost said Jasco, but UVS Games has decided to do away with a mechanically unique promo and instead bring in a super cool alternate art card or XR character in a pre-release kit. This is huge. I'm super excited for pre-release. It did say somewhere that Jetburn is coming in 2023 in the winter. So in my mind, this is coming in November or December, and it's certainly coming after Nats. Although, again, we don't have any official date on when Jetburn is coming out. But if they're saying winter of 2023, I'm assuming that Nationals was put in October because Jetburn is going to be coming in November or early December. Let's go over, of course, love both of those changes. Let's go over things staying the same in Jetburn. A character card will appear in each booster pack. Awesome. That made sealed play so much more fun. This set is the best design to date for booster draft and limited play. I personally love booster draft. Not a big fan of playing sealed, but it does make, of course they're going to say this. They wouldn't say, they would never say anything other than this, that it's the best design for booster draft and limited play. But this is always nice to hear. There are 6 secret rares in the set, 1 per booster box. I loved this change. And there's no first edition unlimited split in set 6. I loved this change. And then the Chrome Rares return. I love Chrome Rares. I've never opened a Chrome Rare. I probably never will open a Chrome Rare. I have purchased one. I purchased a Todoroki Chrome Rare because I thought that was the coolest art of the Chromes for set 3. And I really like the character, Shoto 1. I find him incredibly fun to play. So I had to go buy the Chrome there. But I understand I'll probably never open one, but it makes opening boxes more fun. And that's what this is all about. Let's increase the fun of opening your boxes. You're going to be getting tons of alt arts. The XRs are going to be art or full border. And then there's no more feel bad XRs, and you're still going to have your chance of a Chrome, and you're going to get guaranteed a secret rare. All of these are good. All right, let's talk about the announcement rollout. This was a ton of announcements all at the same time. And in my opinion, it was like drinking from a fire hose, and it led to a lot of confusion. I know I personally was confused. I woke up at about 6 in the morning today, maybe it was 7 in the morning. And of course, most people, we check our phones. We go to the bathroom and check our phones when we wake up. So I go to the Discord server, and immediately I see it's orange now. And I see Levi post a video. I think I was there just as he posted the video. And I click on the video, and Levi's scrolling through talking about the changes. And I'm thinking, is this a joke? Is this real? It took me like several minutes into the video to realize that Levi was being serious and that all of these changes were actually happening. So led me to be confused. Also, what was confusing was the design article being dropped at the same time. Like, I really like those design articles and showing the evolution of how we got these new card layouts. But showing the new card, only having Hawks and Hawk's Feather be the finalized product that you show, and then showing other cards in the old cards and then in the new card layout, it really confuses people because it makes them think that that is the final card layout. When of course, I think every single image that we saw in the design article were actually just former prototypes and not finalized products. So I think that was it was confusing to me. I was assuming that those were the finalized versions until I looked closer and realized that Hawks and Hawk's Feather look quite different and like a more finalized version. Because when I first saw the design article, I thought those look good as rough drafts, but they don't look like a finalized product. When I see Hawks, I see a finalized product. So I think a lot of people got confused at that. If I were UVS Games, I would have dropped a gallery of like 10 new cards. I would have shown a full art XR. I would have shown a foundation. I would have shown a common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and an XR. Maybe I would have shown one of the alternate arts to help get some hype up. And I would have showed Hawks and Hawk's Feather, of course. That's the character that's, I think, most desired for MHA currently. But I think they could have done a more streamlined rollout. Maybe they could have done things a little slower, like maybe announce the Gen Con promos tomorrow and just the layout changed today. And then so I see why they wanted to do it all at the same time, because they all kind of intersect with each other, all of these changes. But I think it was too much. I think it led to a lot of confusion and could have been done better. So I give this a thumbs down for the rollout. Although I have to say, I liked Levi's video. I'm not sure there's ever been a Levi video I haven't liked. All right, and then they had this video where they introduced UVS games. And I thought it was a good video. I mean, it was definitely corporate speak, right? There wasn't really any new information, and there were some platitudes given. But I liked it, and what I liked about it most was that the owners of the game both are wearing black t-shirts. And if you haven't noticed on my videos, all I wear are black t-shirts. So, we just became best friends. We're like all twins here. But in all honesty, to me, that shows that they're quite minimalist. And personally, I consider myself a minimalist, although a minimalist that collects cards. So how minimalist can I be? We all have something. So I think that shows that they want the game to be a little more minimalist, a little more clean, a little more sleek. And I think the cards definitely do that. They're definitely more, you might say basic would be a bad way to describe it, but minimalist would be a good way to describe it, and like clean, fresh. So I like the new cards. Might just be me. In summary, all things considered, nice. I like these changes. I just went through all of these changes, and there were literally only like 2 times I had to give a thumbs down in this entire thing. One was on the rollout. Let's just look for some thumbs down. Yeah, and then it was on this card, which I'm not even sure that this card is a finalized product. In fact, I'm 90% sure that this is just a prototype that was being included in the design article to show the evolution of how cards look. That was just confusing because we didn't get a finalized foundation yet. So we'll be seeing them in the future, but I like these. I understand that it was quite shocking to players to see all of these changes. I think a lot of us were fine with how my hero cards looked and felt, but I also understand why they did it and why they made these changes. And so again, I'm kind of beating a dead horse at this point, but I'm pretty even. A lot of people are saying, oh, I'm selling my collection, leaving the game, and that's not going to be me. I am here for the long haul. I will be happily playing with these new cards, and I am incredibly excited for set 6. I think the design of these cards is incredibly cool. I'm excited to get my hand on some Challenger decks. I'm excited to go to pre-release and get my alt art or my XR character. I'm excited to open when I order a case for this set. I'm excited that I'm going to be getting, 18 packs getting an alternate art character. That means that sometimes you could get 2 alt arts per box, but you're probably like guaranteed at least 6 alternate art characters. That is very, very cool. And that is definitely going to drive me. I was just thinking the other day, maybe this next set I'll just buy 2 or 3 boxes. But after today, I'm all in on a case. I'm a sucker for alt arts. What can I say? And that is going to do it. I hope that that you enjoyed these changes. I know it was a little shocking, but I hope that you stick around and that we continue to have a thriving community of UVS. And I look forward to this next chapter.